Regulations relating to professional conduct of registered medical practitioners, also commonly known as Professional Conduct of RMPS or National Medical Commission Registered Medical Practitioner, Professional Conduct, Regulations, 2023. Disclaimer. The mentioned details are interpretations based on publicly available information. For specific details or completeness and accuracy, audience is advised to refer original document on official government website. Responsibility of RMP regarding the sale of drugs. RMP shall not run an open shop to sell medicines prescribed by RMPS other than himself or for the sale of medical or surgical appliances. They are allowed to sell medication only to her own patients. RMP can prescribe or supply drugs, remedies, or appliances as long as there is no exploitation of the patients. Drugs prescribed by RMP or bought from the pharmacy for a patient should explicitly state the generic name of the drug. RMP shall not administer, dispense or prescribe secret remedial agents of which he does not know the composition or action in the body. The manufacture or promotion or use of these remedies is prohibited. Responsibility of RMP regarding the medical records. Every self-employed RMP shall maintain medical records of patients, inpatients, for 3 years from the date of the last contact with the patient for treatment, in a standard pro forma laid down by the NMC. If any request is made for medical records to RMP responsible for patient records in a hospital or healthcare institution either by the patient, authorized attendant or legal authority involved, the same may be duly acknowledged and documents shall be supplied within 5 working days. In case of medical emergencies, efforts should be made to make the medical records available at the earliest. Efforts shall be made to computerize patients' medical records for quick retrieval and security. Within 3 years from the date of publication of these regulations, the RMP shall ensure fully digitized records, abiding by the provisions of the IT Act, data protection and privacy laws, or any other applicable laws, rules, and regulations notified from time to time for protecting the privacy of the patient. RMPs are in certain cases bound by law to give or may from time to time be called upon to give certificates, notifications, reports, and other documents of similar character, signed by them in their professional capacity for subsequent use in the courts or administrative or other purposes. Such reports, certificates, or documents should not be untrue, misleading, or improper. A self-employed RMP shall maintain a register giving full details of such certificates issued by him/her. RMP shall cooperate in the investigation against incompetent, corrupt, unethical or dishonest conduct of other members of the profession without fear or favor. The RMP shall not aid or abet torture, nor shall he be a party to either infliction of mental or physical trauma or concealment of torture inflicted by another person or agency in clear violation of human rights. End of life guidelines. Practicing active euthanasia shall constitute unethical conduct. However, in some cases, the question of withdrawing life-supporting devices or measures even after brain death shall be decided following the provisions of the Transplantation of Human Organ Act, 1994 and follow prevailing law regarding the issue. The RMP should respect the boundaries of the doctor-patient relationship and not exploit the patient for personal, social, and business reasons and in particular, avoid sexual boundary violations. RMP shall not refuse on religious grounds alone to assist in or conduct of sterility, birth control, circumcision, and medical termination of pregnancy when there is a medical indication. Consent guidelines. Informed consent. Before performing any clinical procedure, diagnostic or therapeutic, or operation, the RMP should obtain the signed documented informed consent of the patient. In case the patient is unable to give consent, the consent of the legal guardian or family member must be taken. The name of the operating surgeon must be mentioned in the medical records. In an operation that may result in sterility, the consent of both husband and wife is required. In case of an emergency, the doctor should try to obtain consent, but if this is not possible, he must act in the best interest of the patient. The medical records should describe the basis of decisions taken in an emergency. No act of in vitro Fertilization or artificial insemination shall be undertaken without the informed written consent of the female patient and her spouse as well as the donor. RMP shall not publish photographs or case reports of patients without their consent, permission in any medical or another journal in any manner by which their identity could be revealed. Research guidelines. Clinical drug trials or other research involving patients or volunteers must comply with ICMR guidelines and THE New Drugs and Clinical Trials Rules, 2018. Consent taken from any patient or participant for the trial of drug or therapy which is not as per the guidelines shall be construed as misconduct. Guidelines on reasonable care and skill. RMP should take due care in practice and exercise reasonable skills as expected, to preserve the life and health of the patient and follow the guidelines.